welcome. Thanks so much for tuning in. Welcome to my channel. I'm Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're looking at your energy for this week. I hope that all is well in your world, sending lots of love and blessings. We're just finishing out, depending on when you're watching this, obviously the time, the energy is fluid. As long as the message resonates, you'll definitely know. But if you're watching this when I first upload in real time, we are just ending Pisces season. We're about to step into Aries, which is awesome for you guys. It's such a great time to just like focus on ourselves, right? And who we want to be, how we want to be living our lives, how we want to show up, etc. The house of self. And those are things we always need to question, right? You might have been experiencing just like a lot of change. That message has been coming through pretty consistently for you, Aries. Just like, I mean, maybe it is a battle within yourself. Everyone's situation will obviously be different. I do personal readings if you want me to look at yours specifically. But yeah, I mean, it does feel like there's a lot of change, both internal and external. And I feel like you've maybe you've had to cut someone off. Maybe you've had to set some really heavy boundaries with another individual so that you can have your space and your time in order to heal, right? I think this actually just came through in our morning messages this morning. It's like we kind of have, like our emotions, our feelings, our indicators whether something's working for us or not. And if something is not, then we do have to set up those boundaries, because that actually gives us the opportunity to look at something with a clearer perspective. Putting yourself out there a little bit, you know, scoping out the territory. And if this is not a romantic situation for you, it doesn't have to be, you could be happily matched. But to me, this is kind of like, depending on what your goals are, whether it's career, friends, community, family, it's kind of just like putting yourself back out there, you know, seeing what's around, meeting someone new, getting in touch with a new hobby, something you've always kind of wanted to do for yourself. I feel like some of the stuff that you've been traveling through over this, you know, last several weeks is showing you how life shows up and the ways that you are attracting certain things, certain people, places, and things to kind of mirror where you're at in your own world, how you think, how you feel about yourself. And that's why this healing is so important and necessary. I think a lot of times, like when we're in relationships, dynamic situations, it's hard to have that objective perspective that the mirror brings, because it can be a little bit humbling, right? Self-image, you know, like, I mean, we have to look at those parts of our, like, anytime we're pointing out something we don't like about a person or situation, that's reflected back in us, you know? Whether it's how we treat ourselves, the subconscious belief systems we have, etc. What we don't like within ourselves is usually found in that other person or situation. And this is where you kind of have to, like, I feel like, reevaluate a little bit, ground a little bit more in who you are. And that's where, like I was saying in the very beginning, this Aries season is going to be very beneficial for you. If you're coming from a place that's a little bit more grounded and aligned with who you are, not people pleasing, trying to put on a good face, have people think or look at you in this certain way. And that's really hard to let go of, you know. Our image is very important, especially, you know, for that Aries. But here's that confirmation. The Eight of Cups is all about leaving the toxicity behind. You know, don't sit and wait around. You already know what it is. You've been down this road over and over and over again. you have an opportunity to escape. And that's exactly what the energy is talking about, right? Let it go. Let it go to let it flow. I love my cheesy cliches. Yeah, I love this for you, Aries, because this is about your empowerment. It's amazing. Whether or not we're conscious of it, even if we can like kind of pinpoint a situation or person is not the best for us, it's that value of hindsight. You know, you have just so much clarity when you get some space, you get some distance. And that's exactly what, you know, Spirit's calling you to do, is really to step away from what you know it is. You know, you're responsible for your own happiness, your own fulfillment. That's what the Chariot is all about. Yeah, guys, I mean, this is such heavy confirmation in the overarching energy. It has changed. It's time to move on, leave the BS behind. You have the power to do it. You just actually need to grab the reins and do it. I think that I'm hearing like a little bit of fear stepping outside of the box or outside of what's maybe comfortable for you, not really knowing what it's going to look like or how it's going to feel. Don't let those fears limit you, is what I'm hearing, because like you have the power to defend yourself. I feel like you need to see that for you. It's really hard when we move through change because it goes back to this value of mirroring, right? Where, yeah, sometimes that other person is just an a-hole, you know, and like your complaints are justified. But then there's other time, well, and as well, I should say, at the same time, you know, we do have to look at how we're showing up, where our responsibility lies. But remember that just because, yes, there is the light and the shadow in everyone, it doesn't mean it's all one or the other. Some people are more low vibey. Some people are more a-holes just to be or like to control and manipulate the situation. But just because sometimes we do, you know, we do something that kind of maybe it's out of character for us, etc., it doesn't make all of us bad. And I feel like that's kind of what you're fighting with, you know, is trying to take on this responsibility for maybe something that wasn't all you. You know what I mean? It's almost like you had help, you know? Whatever you're blaming yourself for, it wasn't all you. That's that strong Nine of Wands message. You had other people feeding into it, maybe saying things to you, you know, we all know like how the gossip and blah, blah, blah can get so out of control. And so then we end up making maybe a harsher decision than what we had wanted or hoped. It can be a little bit too hasty, too quick with this Knight of Wands. That energy for you, Aries, it's like, excuse me, it's the person who's like, I don't know, I think maybe you weren't really thinking about it 100%. I think that there was so much going on in the background that you just reacted out of a way that, you know, like I said, maybe wasn't your most mature moment. I feel like you had your reasonings, your thoughts behind this. But it still doesn't mean that, you know, you don't have the opportunity to walk away from it or to really empower yourself through it. If it's not about walking away from a situation or a specific person, then it's about letting go of a type of behavior, a patterning for you, right? I think there still is a little bit of self-reflection. Probably you're in the middle of doing this. I love this. This is like, I love this deck. It's so awesome. It's the Zombie Tarot. But like, look at how all those zombies are kind of, you know, boarded up. To me, that reminds me of our shadow self. Well, she just kind of really relaxes and connects with herself, giving herself that love and that care. You also could be dealing with an earth energy. The Hermit is Virgo. maybe someone who was a little bit more self-protected. Here's our Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. Dealing with someone who's, you know, maybe more diplomatic in the way that they think. It's more rationally based. And sometimes it can be very harsh, right? Swords energy, it's intellect, it's a sharp tongue. Like I said, it can be rigidity, cutting people off in a harsh way or what feels to be harsh. Page of Pentacles with our finances. So like, you know, it could be, and Two of Pentacles. Okay, so, you know, I mean, on this other person's end, this sword energy, there was kind of a lot attached to it, you know, this element of needing things to work harmoniously, working fluidly. There's a lot of balls being juggled by this Queen of Swords person, right? So something ended between you and this person, right? Or this situation. You're over and done with it. I don't think you want to move forward. I don't think you really want anything. Yeah. It's almost like you are... I feel like there's this element where you're just not interested in things moving forward, Aries. For them, they might have blocked and limited their own self with that Eight of Swords, with how they reacted, how they responded. You guys, like I said, you might have been on very different pages. With this Queen of Swords, Knight of Wands energy, you're going to be looking at things completely differently, right? One's a little bit, you know, without as much emotion, feeling, kind of just like pros and cons list with that Queen of Swords. But for you, there was more passion and inspiration behind it. We have a lot of Pentacles energy on the board, so this could be someone or something you had invested in, finances, financial exchange. Because it feels like if it is about money, there's this element with the Ace of Swords of you wanting to keep what is yours, right? What you've worked for, what you're working to create. You know, like how her arm is just gilded in all this jewelry. Even though they're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, right? That's why I love that deck. Where over here, it's like... I have a lot going on with everything I'm trying to handle, manage. This guy's trying to keep this zombie in check, you know? And then here's the Page of Pentacles, which really does talk about financial dealings, small batches of money, etc. And then we have the Eight of Swords for them, where they're feeling limited and restricted. And I think that's just kind of where this thing sits now, you know? It feels like the decision... Oh, sorry. Whew, that scared me. The decisions that have been made are where it is right now. I don't specifically see any type of evolution because I think that, I don't know, neither party really wants to budge. Spirit's calling you to just take time to, you know, heal what you need to heal, focus more on yourself, reflect upon maybe where you attracted this thing, this dynamic, this situation. Yeah, because there's just too much conflict in this. I mean, this person just doesn't want to budge, right? And I don't think you really want to hear it, you know? Yeah. We have 3 2s on the board, guys. So a lot of this is about, it's like making a choice one way or the other, you know? Are we going to fight? Are we going to be angry at each other? Is it going to be more difficult? Oh, there's that King of Swords. Or is there a way to find harmony and balance? And that's where I hear this for you. Aries, is it's a lot about kind of like checking in with yourself, right? Can you match this person with where they're at? I feel like that's what the King of Swords is talking about, unless you have someone else coming in to weigh in on this situation. As things unfold, it looks like there still is conflict happening, but there's also this opportunity to change the dynamic, the trajectory, etc. But it does look like you have to get more on the same page with this person's situation that you're dealing with, because this energy is not matching, and that's really where the conflict is coming in. Not like I'm throwing shade at you or them. It doesn't feel that way. It just feels like you guys are struggling to see eye to eye, you know. And I think still there is like a little bit more that kind of has to unfold in this dynamic. Maybe it's been taking up a lot of your time, your energy, your thought energy. Maybe you feel like, I just don't want to effing deal with this person anymore. They're so annoying, you know, is what I'm hearing. Especially with that Grim Reaper, because that's such a hard pass, hard no, Aries. And I get that, right? Like, we kind of get fed up. And maybe there is a better person for this dynamic. And you putting yourself out there a little bit more is going to help bring that into fruition instead of holding on to this past. Yeah. Honeybee. Actually, that's okay. So the honeybee, I mean, I think like honeybees are so magical, right? We have to remember our strength, our power. There is that queen bee, you know, and maybe that is this dynamic. Like, two people are kind of duking it out for the control. And I think there's a way to do that with diplomacy. Funny, this is honey locust. How hilarious. There's a way to do that for both of you with diplomacy, with that element of refinement, stepping into your power, into your nobility, so to speak. But there needs to be some reflection. I think there's still, like we saw all throughout the reading, it's kind of good that you guys aren't connecting right now, because there needs to be a little bit more self-reflection, understanding about what happened. And that's happening more by being alone, taking time out, not really kind of like looking, you know, trying to hash it out with this person, because there is still conflict. So I really hope this helps, Aries. I hope it helps guide and direct. Remember, we're in our final week of Pisces season. This energy is definitely going to start lessening for you. You're going to see a lot of forward movement, right? You have the chariot, which is so fortuitous. Step into your power. You've got this. Just take some time, you know, because the value of the mirror is then we won't repeat the same patterns and mistakes, especially if we are calling in someone new, whether romantic, business, whatever. Calling in that new person, we want them to be better in alignment with our vision and goals. And so we have to look back at this situation to see our end in it, in order to, like I said, call in something that's in more of alignment, that is truly what you want, not the BS, right? None of us deserve the BS. So I hope that helps, Aries. Sending so much love and blessings your way. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the support to the channel. Big thumbs up if it resonated. Drop comments below. Let's connect and build and grow the community.